You can't accuse a saint. Stella Connery was of sound mind when she made her will. She knew she was dying of breast cancer, and she'd made her decision and disinherited her daughter. And the foundation of being had been nauseatingly gracious in triumph. Surely Rachel would want to make a pilgrimage to the place where her mother had spent her final peaceful days, to the spot where she was buried. She could see the good that Stella's money was doing, make peace with what the courts and her mother had chosen. The foundation and Luke's people would welcome the chance to share the blessings that had come their way. Rachel would have rather eaten fried caterpillars. They certainly weren't about to share the money that they'd wheedled and tricked out of a vain, dying woman. Stella and Luke had been lovers. Rachel had no doubt about that whatsoever. Stella had gone through men with a voraciousness that had left her only child awed and frigid in response. No good-looking man had been immune to Stella. Luke Bardell, the messiah of the foundation of being, was a very good-looking man indeed, and he'd been paid well for sleeping with a dying old lady. If Rachel had been willing to accept defeat, she would have refused their offer of hospitality. A sensible woman would have accepted the fact that the mother who'd abandoned her on almost every level had finally finished the job. She could find a new job, make a life for herself, choose not to be a victim of a distraught childhood. Choice again. There was that word. She could choose anger and revenge, or she could choose to get on with her life. If it hadn't been for the letter from a stranger, she might have made the wise decision. But once the creased, scrawled letter arrived in her mailbox, with its hints and accusations, she had no real choice. Your mother never had cancer. She was murdered by one of Luke's people. Maybe by Luke himself, or at least he gave the order. At the end, she knew what was happening to her, but she couldn't stop them. Come to the center, and I'll help you find proof that will bring him down. No real choice. The letter was unsigned, written in a childish scrawl, but it rang with truth, or at least, the truth she wanted to believe. At that point, anger and determination kept her going, and they carried her straight to Santa Dolores, to the foundation of being, and to Luke Bardell. "She's here, Luke." He didn't move. He'd heard them shuffle in, that odd group of middle-aged and elderly professionals who'd found the answer to life's questions with the foundation of being, and used their financial expertise to make it thrive. They were called the grandfathers, even though there were several women in the group, and they ran the organization like a blue-chip company. And Luke ran them. He lay flat on his back on the cool tile, arms outstretched, eyes closed, as he inhaled the sweet, sharp smell of burning sage. He could feel the energy tingling, rushing, flowing through his body, every nerve taut, every vein pumping with blood, with life, pulsing, throbbing. That energy was his power, his gift, and he used it carefully, never squandering it. For a moment he wondered who they were talking about, and then he remembered. Stella's daughter. The skinny, pale, sour-faced woman who'd had the astonishing gall to try to take his money away. She'd gotten nowhere, of course. The grandfathers thought she should have been paid off. After all, lawsuits and accusations, no matter how far-fetched, were bad publicity. And the foundation of being preferred little or no publicity. They weren't looking for converts. Those who needed what they